I think there's huge opportunities with AIs. There's also challenges that I'm not sure the industry is completely ready to have. The reality, for example, is that we've already lost, let me say, any kind of luxury ownership over the language of luxury and the way we communicate with customers. So today, the average hospitality website, we have about 30% of the traffic will already be bots. So I have now a website that the creative director has spent hours designing the shades of gray of the picture, and here's a bot trying to find efficient information. So this kind of mismatch will oblige luxury companies to develop two different languages. The emotional language, which is the one with which you create the desire of the customer, you work with the destination of which your talent becomes the first ambassador. And then you need to have AI managing everything else. So that's where the collaboration and the strength of the ecosystem comes.
The hospitality schools that you hire out of, what are they not teaching?
So I think, again, learning is an ecosystem that goes beyond the hospitality schools, even if I think the hospitality school is absolutely pivotal. Very often we think about learning like, I need to do 3 years of university, or I need to do a postgraduate. But the reality is that, particularly in a world that's moving as fast as it is, you never stop learning. So I would say that tourism learning really starts at high school. Because if the kids that come out don't come with a minimum of English proficiency, then they get to B-school and they don't even understand the course. So this is where governments and public and private need to work together, in which primary education needs to work a lot on the basic skills of hospitality, of which language, being able to communicate, is number one. Then number two, then they can go to more technical education. And I think that in this case, the hotel schools do an absolutely amazing job today. But as you see, it's never completed until they land in a company like Kempinski or similar others, and they really learn on the ground. Because, again, you need to meet the enemy, as sometimes we say, until you meet the guest and you manage to fulfill everything that you've been teaching them, the learning is not finished for that part. I think that the first thing we need to focus is when you talk about retention, which is the perimeter of retention. The way we see retention is not retention inside the brand, but it's retention inside the industry. And this is something where I think the private public sector should collaborate more. Because if we retain a great head of front desk in the industry and he or she doesn't go and work in retail, we have actually gotten a point for the industry. So it's not a question whether it works for Caesar Mandarin or for Kempinski. It's important that we retain this talent inside the hospitality bubble. And this is where also the development of new destinations come in. It is the reality of life that if you enter a new destination that is just approaching tourism, doesn't have the skills, you will need to bring a very large number of international experts. Where I think the key differentiator is what you leave behind. Because the programs that we are running are typically that you're taking the international assignment on a 3-month basis, and then you have locals that are actually trained and shadow the international assignment that then leaves and goes to its next opening. So we call this the flying teams. And that's a great way to do it because, yes, you have international talent that comes in, but they leave a training on the ground and they leave the skills for the locals to then do it. But it only works if the new destination works as an ecosystem, because only if one hotel just does it, the problem that we typically face, which is typically where the bad rap comes in, is that, okay, Kempinski is the best hotel on the island and everybody's trying to hire out of Kempinski. And then you start getting that dynamic, which is not a healthy